So this is it, season finale. Senior day, can you just talk, it's a little different now that it's not like you've all been together for 4 years.
Yeah.
But can you just talk about the seniors on this team and what you expected from them coming in and how they've been able to bond together for this season?
This senior day will probably feel, at least for me, what a normal senior day feels like. And I say that because these guys have had such an impact this first year for us and for the program. And for me, being a first-time coach, so just kind of starting this and honestly building it with them. If I'm not mistaken, I think they were 3 first recruits that we got to kind of build the team around and build the team through. And so it will be what a normal senior day used to feel like. So for those 3 guys, they've been a huge part of why we've been able to have some success this year and building the foundation of what we want this to look like moving forward.
I want to ask one follow-up. When you were approaching, did you approach all 3 at the same time? Was there one that was the anchor that brought the other 2? Like what was the order?
For me and how I wanted to play, it started with Malik.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we were going through Malik, and then when Malik committed was right when Trey went in the portal. And then we got on the phone right away with Trey and their relationship. And then Ernest was somebody I had recruited prior. And so when he went into the portal, he was somebody I knew that I wanted to build this with and build it apart. So it kind of fell like in a domino. And then I think True and Sheldon and Dante kind of followed after that. And then we kind of built it from there.
Coach, with the foundation with these guys, I know I've heard you speak recently that you don't know who's coming back, just the nature of everything. But in particular, those 3 guys, what are you hoping can be the foundation of what they've showed this year, regardless of who's on the roster, I guess, moving forward?
I think the biggest thing is just winning and being able to win here at Miami and compete in the ACC and being the top 4 of the ACC, moving forward in the top half of the league, put yourself in position to play in the tournament every year, hopefully. And then also with just the nature of where college athletic is, where transfers can come here and have success and come here and get better and enhance their numbers and enhance what they did at their schools before. So all of that is important, and all of it ties into everything that we want to do here and kind of everything we want to do moving forward. So that's why those 3 guys are really important, along with Dante, True, and Sheldon. With Dante and Sheldon showing freshmen that they can play here and that there's ability to come and play right away, whether you were highly recruited or not. Like if you fit what we're trying to do, we'll play you. And the same thing with True Washington, who was a starter and had success. How you can come here and no matter what the role is, you also get to stay yourself a little bit, which is kind of most important in this day and age. You don't want to go anywhere where you change too much. Of course, you have to change no matter where you're at, but you don't want to change too much. So all of it's tied back into winning and recruiting and maintaining, I guess, is the biggest way to put it.
Jay, how do you know that a kid has that in them? Because a lot of kids, they're skilled, but they're hard.
Yeah, you have to really, really do your background and do your research. I think one thing that we had the benefit of this year is that it was a bunch of people that we had recruited prior to. Like I had a relationship with Ernest and recruited him. Eric, myself, and also CY had a relationship with Malik and I recruited him. And then Trey had a relationship with CY, and there was a lot of, and I've known True and his family for years. So there was a lot of built-in relationships, but then also just the pedigree, where they're coming from, who they played for. So you have Trey, who's won conference tournaments everywhere he's been. Ernest played for Jamie Dixon, who's a great coach, but also started at Kansas, was a McDonald's All-American. So the talent and the kind of skill pedigree and is all there. And then Malik playing at the University of Indiana. And being at a blue blood, I understand the pressure that goes with having to win at levels like that. True Washington won 2 conference championships, played in the NCAA championship, played with an All-American, so he's played with other really good players. And then what Dante and Sheldon and all those guys did kind of speaks. And that's what you have to build it. You have to build it around people who have won and people who value winning and understand what that's about.
Is it hard to find that in high school guys?
No. It's the same formula, kind of. You have to build it with, what have they done? Dante's won 3 Peach Jam championships. He won to Montverde. He won at Riviera. He comes from just a makeup of winning. So you just have to do your homework. I guess one thing with freshmen that you have to be and make sure you do is, at least from my perspective, kind of how we built it is physically. They got to be ready to play in the games. And Dante and Sheldon physically, along with Solid, are physically able to play in the games.
Coach, to kind of piggyback on that question, when you're evaluating high school players, how much of a balance is there between, or what is the balance between on-court evaluations and the background stuff, the getting to know this kid as a person, getting to know what type of person you're adding to the program? Just what's the balance of that?
I mean, I would say 70-30 is the person, because you can bring in somebody that doesn't fit and it ruins everybody else. So you got to make sure you bring in the right people, because each year is its own year. You know what I mean? So you bring in somebody, even if it's a freshman. Of course, you bring them in thinking you're going to get them for 4 years, but it's just not how it goes anymore. So for that year, you got to make sure all the pieces fit. And it's a gift and a curse the way we do it here. I'm kind of leaning more towards the style of rosters, because it gives everybody the opportunity to understand what their role is and give as much clarity. Now, once you have a few injuries, you end up with 6-7 people. But also, I think when you get to March and you get later in the season, everybody has grown and developed and gotten comfortable with, okay, I can expect my 27 minutes, my 23 minutes. They get comfortable in what they're doing, and you have a better chance of becoming a team that way, at least in my opinion.
What's going to be your message to those 3 seniors? Will likely be a pretty emotionally charged atmosphere.
Yeah.
Will it be to stay level-headed and stay measured, or will it be kind of feed off of that adrenaline and fire that they may feel?
Just to stay level-headed, and just it's a normal day. We're honoring them, but it still is a normal day and a normal game, and we're trying to keep it as normal as possible, and also understanding it's not in the same sense. So kind of talk about it, embrace it, and then kind of go from it. I'm sure the first 10 minutes will be all over the place, but once we settle in the game and once we get going, to just continue to be who we are. But all senior days are hard because of the emotion and everything that comes with it.
What do you expect from Louisville? And also want to ask Nome coming on the last 2 games. At this point in the season, how important is that, and how big of a factor will that be, do you think, tomorrow? If you can you keep that going 4 threes?
I hope so. I hope so. Louisville, of course, just as a program, they're one of the greatest programs ever in college basketball in the history of players have had, championships have won, coaches that they've had, everything that's gone through there. Pat Kelsey's done a great job. He did a great job last year. Doing a great job this year. Put them in a position to, be in the tournament and compete. They have a lot of shooting all over the court. They have a lottery pick and a freshman guard. Their backcourt is kind of the strength of their, I guess, team. And then offensively, we talked about this with SMU. They're probably like the notch up. It's not a knock on SMU. I just think they're a notch up offensively of what they're able to do and what they're capable of doing. So they put a lot of stress on you that way. And then their speed and their pace and their shooting, because they got McNeely, Carnwell, Woolley. It's everywhere. So I think that's the biggest thing with them. And then with Nome, biggest thing with Nome is just staying ready. So these last 2 games, Timo's been kind of banged up and been out, and he's kind of stepped in and taken that, and then his shooting has just stretched the floor and gave us some separations in the game. Like in SMU, I thought it created a big gap for us. We didn't do a good job of keeping it, but it created the gap, and so hopefully he can keep it going.
Coach, just expanding on Louisville, the style of play, them getting threes, the way you guys do the paint stuff, just the game itself and maybe the challenge and what it could look like, and just differences.
It's a clash of styles. Definitely a clash of styles, but it'll be an exciting game. It'll be an entertaining game. The one thing about this week, I feel like the SMU game will help prepare us for Louisville and what we're going to see. A little bit different, but kind of same conceptually how they play. But with Louisville, just like SMU, it's a game that I think they're still fighting for seeding. I don't know where they are. I think it's like a tiebreak or something. Same for us. We're not fighting for seeding, but we're fighting for everything we want, and we still got to go attack it. So I expect them to be at a high level. I expect them to play with great urgency and desperation, and coming in and trying to get a win.
It could be a team you could see next week as well.
Yep.
Just the oddity of that, and a possibility of seeing them again.
Yeah, I haven't even thought about that part of it. It's just getting ready for them the first time. But each game is different, so it's hard. Some things you carry over from game to game, but people get in foul trouble. Some people making shots that game, some people not making shots. So it's hard to kind of I guess the things that will be the same is kind of what they do. You know they're gonna shoot 35 threes, and they're gonna spread you out and run a bunch of different stuff on offense. So just adjusting and trying to teach it more in concepts than actual like guarding, I guess is the biggest thing for them and biggest thing moving forward, because you have 1 day turnarounds, 2 day turnarounds when you get in tournament play. So this is where your base defense and everything you've taught throughout the year really has to show up for you.
How's
Coach,
Timo
a
doing?
couple more.
Coach,
Just-
you talked about the simulation that you've had, like tournament week style.
Yeah.
How have you seen that, I guess, with the team response? You have SMU now, Louisville, and you might see them again later on, but how has that, I guess, message gone towards the team and how they've responded?
Dave, it's been good. It's been good, and this is just preparing them for where we are at this part of the season. So whatever we play on Saturday, whatever happens, everything we've done is over. You know what I mean? So whatever our record is, we've done a good job. We put ourselves in position, but now it's time to turn the page and get to the next chapter, which is tournament play, survive and advance. So the way this season set up in this last season, I thought it was perfect. This last week, I thought it was perfect to kind of simulate what a tournament will be, and having to play 2 really good teams and beat 2 really good teams on a shorter week, and not having a break in between. So it was perfect for us. But I think the guys have responded well.
How's Timo doing? Just how Timo? Any update on Timo?
Timo's doing good. We're still trying to get him back. He just had his back kind of just locked up on him, and they had him where he can't really function to his best of his ability. And so we're just really taking it day by day. So he's doing a little bit more. He did a little bit more yesterday than he did the day before. Get a better look at him today, and then kind of go from there.
What did it mean to have Marcus on the bench Wednesday night and in the locker room
Yeah,
to celebrate the double bye?
I mean it's always great to have him around. He's a big part of his team. Always have been a big part of his team. His voice, his presence, just lifts everybody up. We had to stay away for a little bit because we had a little bit of a cold flu outbreak, so we couldn't be around for a little bit. Was that Boston College or before Boston College? Something like that. We had a little bit going on. So we had to keep him away, but whenever he's around and can be around, we want him around because he's just one of those people you always want to be around.
Coach, how pivotal has the development or the assistant staff been in developing these players? Have you seen an uptick in 3-point shooting over the course of the season with guys like Coach Andrew Moran and Deshaun? How pivotal they've been in developing these players and really getting the best out of them?
They've been huge. Because it's the one thing when you do have smaller rosters is you're banking on these guys getting better and developing throughout the year. And so I feel like our staff's done a great job with that, and it started to show. Like one thing is like Ernest with his free throws, True's 3-point shooting, Sheldon's finishing around the rim, Trey's decision making. All these things are part of development, and the staff has done a great job of just being in the gym, being around them, buying into the relationships, which is a big part of what we do here. And through those relationships, you're able to develop, coach them, and get them better. And that's all you ask.
Coach,
Last one.
just one win, and you'll have the best regular season as a head coach here at the University of Miami, and it'll only be year 1. Is that something that goes through your mind, or have you even thought about something like that?
I haven't thought about it. We had, they just had like my favorite lunch and cupcakes brought in there, like happy anniversary. I'm like, I was married in August. Not my anniversary. But I didn't even know what it was until they told us. And, somebody mentioned that, what you said before. For me, it's just the recognition that I wants to go to the guys. So if winning 25 games gets Malik first team all ACC, or gets Ernest all defense, and gets Drew and that recognition, then that comes with it. Everything comes with winning. And that's what I've told the guys the whole year. Everything we want comes with competing and winning and putting ourselves in position to win, just like that. So for me, it's fine, but if it goes and it gives them things that help them and advance them and help their basketball careers and gives them some type of confidence and satisfaction, that's all I ask for as a coach.
Just what, reflecting on, this goes for both of you guys, just reflecting on your college careers in this season, just where's your mind at heading into tomorrow senior day? Just how surreal does this all feel?
It feels good. We know it's our last home game and our last game of the regular season as a senior. But I think our motivation is to go out there and just win, get this last dub for coach and stuff like that.
I mean, I'm excited. You know, obviously just for me, I'm fully aware that, you know, job's not finished, nowhere near finished. And obviously for me, the team, everybody, him, Trey, you know, none of us are not even in a slight way letting this senior night, you know, cloud us from what we're trying to achieve. You know, it's still a game that we got to win. You know, like I said, the job's not finished. So, you know, our main focus is just making sure that we're doing everything each and every day to achieve that. But of course, you know, answering to the, you know, senior question, like, I mean, it's been a run for me. You know, it's been a journey for me, to say the least. But yeah, man, the only thing I'm really feeling tomorrow is just excitement, and, you know, just letting that excitement carry over to wanting to win a ball game tomorrow. So.
For Ernest, for you specifically, just from your freshman year to now, just what area, whether on the court or an area off the court that has helped you on the floor, is kind of what area, how do you feel like you've grown in these last 4 years?
Honestly, my faith. You know, that's been a big key for me, because you know I'm always gonna put in the work. You know, put in the work each and every day. But then it gets to a point where I understand there's a lot of things I can't control. You know, like you said, on the court or off the court. You know, like I said, just me staying in my word each and every day, praying before games, praying after games. Whether I'm about to go to classes, praying, because again, my future and my career is something that, you know, is always on my mind. You know, me wanting to achieve the best for myself. And honestly, you know, I wouldn't have reached this far without my faith at all. So.
For either of you, it's been a crazy 1 year turnaround.
Yeah.
Just coming in as seniors, being that developmental block to get this program where it's at now. Just what does that mean for either one of y'all?
I mean, you know, it's special, you know, because, you know, like you said, it being obviously a 1 year turnaround, so to speak, and with us being seniors, you know, kind of us coming in, we already knew what to expect. Obviously having that veteran mentality of, like I said, understanding how the game is, how this level is at this specific level, and just doing the best we can to bring the rest of the guys along. You know, Coach trusts us, first and foremost. You know, he wouldn't recruit us if he didn't. And just us understanding that we're in a leadership role, you know, leadership position, whether that be on the court, off the court, you know, to kind of communicate to the other guys how things are supposed to go. You know, whether it be, you know, this is our first time all of us playing together. You know, at the end of the day, we're still high-level basketball players. You know, there's certain things that are a bare minimum. You know, whether it be, you know, listening or, you know, showing respect. You know, different areas like that. But of course, you know, whether it be on the court, you know, making sure everyone's in the gym, being attentive and locked in that practice. Going over the plays as such. So, you know, like I said, just us three, you know, doing the best that we can to just do our best in that leadership role.
Malik, we've talked before about you coming home and just what that means to you, but you don't know how it's going to work, right? You come home, a new coaching staff, new roster. Could you have ever imagined just the way this team has been able to gel so fast and what this team has been able to do?
No, I think coming in that summer, I kind of knew how the team was going to come together. A lot of guys from Florida that came in knowing each other, so we clicked instantly, and then from there it was just, you know, going in and staying in the gym every single day, get better every single day, and just competing at a high level when we got on the court. And then a couple games in, we knew how we wanted to play, and we built a foundation that we play by, and we just took it from there.
Malik, what do you remember with Coach Lucas, kind of his recruiting pitch back then when he was trying to get you to come here? And then how do you think he's kind of helped your game this season?
He helped me a lot. He put me in a lot of positions to succeed. He lets me play free on the court. Doesn't care what type of shot I take. Just play hard every single time. And then on the recruiting pitch, it was he needed a guy that was gonna versatile guy, in which I didn't showcase that at my last school, but his confidence in me to be able to show my versatility really ultimately got me here in Miami. And then the coaching staff also believing in me and trusting me too.
One thing he's always talked to us throughout the season is you guys as a whole have allowed you guys to be coachable, allowed the staff to coach you guys, maybe adjust some things. Is there anything in particular with you that you felt like you changed with him, this new staff, or maybe had to adjust?
No, I mean, I kind of knew everybody and how everybody was before even coming here, in a sense. So I knew what I was getting from each and every coach when I came here. So just being willing to be coachable and willing to understand what they got to say just helped me translate my game on the court.
Have you faced any of the Louisville players before, either of you?
Have I faced?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played Louisville at my last school, so they I mean their roster kind of changed a little bit, but you know they got some of their players that was there still from last year.
And then, you know, they're big that transferred in from BYU, I believe. I think I might have been out that game, but obviously we faced them last year. And then obviously, you know, Michael, he's back from the crib in Orlando, so, you know, that's my boy. So, you know, I'll see him Friday or tomorrow, Saturday.
What stands out to you? I mean, you mentioned Michael, obviously a very talented guard group. So what stands out to you about this Cardinals team?
You know, well coached. You know, anything that you can, you know, ask from a high level opponent. You know, they know how to share the ball. You know, obviously, you know, they're shooting. So obviously, you know, the different areas that we're gonna have to, you know, go over and scout and practice, and you know, talk about our ways that we're gonna, you know, eventually come out with a win this weekend. So, like I said, I'm just more so excited for the opportunity ahead of us. The opportunity to honestly just earn our respect. You know, just to put it plainly, just go out there, get a win, keep earning our respect, keep stacking, keep winning games. Because again, we're trying to be playing in April. You know, March is great, but I want to be in April.
Were you close with Michael growing up? And
Yeah,
like,
working out, school, same area, yeah.
Oh, so you guys have a pretty close relationship?
No, yeah, we're close. We're close.
You have a lot of different guys that kind of chip in every single game. Gnome has been one of those the last couple of games. Just to see at this point in the season, someone like that step up, you know, what does that kind of say about this group?
You know, everyone just stays ready. You know, that's the beauty of this game, but also the beauty of our team. You know, it's something that Coach always preaches. You know, you never know when your number's going to be called. And honestly, you know, credit to our program. You know, as a whole, we're always echoing that and reminding all the guys of that same fact. You know, you never know when your number's going to be called, so just be ready. For Noam, you know, I think I seen something the other day. I think 14 points in 12 minutes, or maybe the other way around. Or, but I mean, that's just like it's an example. Just making sure you stay ready, because no matter if I was telling Dante this in the huddle, it's like no matter if you go in the game for 2 minutes, you go in the game for 15 minutes, you know, those guys with that same jersey color on the same side bench that you are, like, we trust you. You know, it doesn't matter if coach puts you out for a late game situation, you're starting, it's like no matter when you're out there, we as a whole, as a program, we trust you. So if you're in there to shoot a shot, you haven't shot all game, you feel like we're expecting you to make that shot, and even if you miss, we want you to shoot it again if you're open. So I think, like I said, it's beautiful that as a program as a whole, you know, whether it be the chemistry that we've built over these past couple of months, you know, it's a beauty to see as, you know, our season goes on.
Malik, how's your hand doing, and what's the biggest thing that it affects you during games?
The hand's good. I mean, it's a dumb situation. But yeah, I mean, as long as it's taped up, it's pretty secured. I do lose a little grip with the thumb, but I mean, it doesn't affect anything with the shot or my touch.
Just playing the game.
Yeah, I just gotta stay off the video games to make sure. So, yeah, but the thumb's good.
Ernest, I saw the stat this morning that you lead the country in alley-oop attempts. Just how do you think that element of your game has really added something to the offense this year, just you as a loft thread?
Adds a lot. You know, it forces teams to switch up their ball screen coverage, you know. You stay back, gonna get hit with a Gortat. If you're not back, if you're even with me, the ball's going up. So I mean, it's kind of a pick your poison situation. And like I said, just no matter if it was me catching lobs or just me improving my free throw shooting, you know, whenever I'm out there, just whatever I can do, defending, obviously, you know, whatever I can do to help our team get a win, the best outcome, and just like I said, just help our team be great. You know, that's what I'm there for.
Ernest, since you brought it up, I mean, who's the best on the sticks? What have you guys been playing?
Y'all saw that one clip of me beating Ernest in the ACC preseason. So
I'm the best gamer. You know, obviously, you know, it's not that you bring it up. It's about to be a big year for single-player games, though. So, Wolverine GTA is coming out if that ever comes out. But no, I definitely feel like I'm the best gamer. You know, for sure. Maybe he had me on that one day, but no, I like me over everybody. So.
Hey, we all saw the video after the SMU game. Ernest, who's the second best dancer?
Lee got his little moves.
No, it's not.
You're amazing.
Who you think?
It goes. I'll say Ernest, probably J. Key, Jordan Key, and then
Key.
I twist him like JJ or.
I say Key. Key my TikTok
Key,
buddy. So yeah.
Key number 2 because Key.
I didn't know it'd get that serious.
Yeah, so I'll go Ernest 1, then Key number 2.